it. Think about it. If other people went to therapy, maybe we wouldn't have all these issues.
Yes. One thing
so many people don't.
Yes. One thing I can say is I think that I'm gonna say this. I know for me in my household growing up, my mother didn't teach us how to deal with conflict. Even conflict amongst your siblings, like how to resolve conflict within your family. Just think about it. That's why we got so much conflict within our families, you know, because we don't know how to resolve it. And what I don't like is when you go too low. Because if you go to the flow, I'm going to hell.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So,
oh my God,
let's not do that. And especially if you love me, like if you love me and you truly say you love me and you care about me, your actions got to match up with that.
Right.
And that goes across the board. I don't care if you're my mama, my child, my sister, my bro. I don't care who you is, because that's a title.
You're not going to give me instructions. You're not going to give me good health care. You're not going to give me time off. But you want me to just have this child because I'll know what love is.
Right. What you are going to do is shame me for not doing a good enough job in your eyes, whatever that means. And then I also have my local, state, and federal government working against me as a parent if that's what I chose to become because of defunding things or book bans. And if if I need to have a job in order to make money, and you're saying, well, if you have a problem with defunding or state regulations or the fact that they're not teaching kids our actual country history, well, then you should homeschool. Well, who has time to homeschool if I have to go to work?
You gotta remember.
But motherhood is not, it's a sacrifice, and you gotta be willing to do it, and it's a balance. So you have to be willing to do it while also not being offended or just be like FTK. Next Tuesday, my kids know. They'll be like, "Mommy, do you need some me time?" I absolutely do.
You said FTK?
Like fuck them kids.
Okay.
Yeah. We 100% subscribe to that. I have the T-shirt.
It's definitely, and it's not you have some people who are. I've seen the battle online about how that's offensive, but it's just really a cry for remembering you got to take time for yourself because you can't pour from an empty cup.
My healing gives me permission to pick and choose my battles. And because I have that permission, I also have permission to practice fuck around and find out. And not feel bad when I practice it.
Girl. Look. You speaking my language right now.
A whole sermon, okay? A whole
because because in the past, you'd be like, oh, I shouldn't have said that, But then think about it. You feel bad because you didn't say anything, and then you feel bad because you said something. No, we're going to be unapologetic. If you feel like that battle was worth picking, go to war about that battle.
Ooh. Yes.
My forgiveness chapter, actually. And I had a scuffle, a fight with some people, and there was about 4 of them and 1 of me. And in this situation, I got hit. Sorry for the graphic. I got hit in the head repeatedly with a car jack. And I was they were trying to kill me, and I was supposed to die, at least have brain damage. And I remember waking up under a car. It was a lot going on. And I remember being in the ambulance, and it was freezing cold. And I remember this guy, he was pleading for me to live, because he was like, yo, stay up, do not fall asleep. And at that, I didn't understand what was going on, but now I know he was just making sure I didn't slip away. And I remember I was dozing off, I was woozy, but I remember his energy was just so you need to stay up, that I was like, all right, I'm gonna stay up, and but I believe he saved my life.
I said, well, Mom, why are you crying? And she said, your dad was the only man that I ever loved. So talking to my mom and hearing her say that this man, my father, who ultimately tried to kill you, take you from your kids, take you from this life. And you still have love for him.
And you couldn't understand that.
I could not.
Yeah.
I really could not. I'm like,
Did she explain that to you? Because you had a stepfather at this time, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and so,
absolutely.
And for her to say, he was the only man she loved, and now did she not love your stepdad?
Oh, she did. She did. But like, you know how some people just think that, okay, oh, my first love is just like my forever love, you know?
And then going into it, there were red flags, there were black flags, burning flags. Like,
oh shit.
It was planes crashing, girl.
Oh damn.
Oh, Lord.
One of the biggest signs was don't ever have a partner that don't feel they have nothing to lose.
Ooh.
Oh.
Expound upon that, my dear. Come on.
Don't ever go into a partnership with someone who's like, you know what? First of all, she had mommy and daddy's money. So she really didn't feel like she had nothing to lose. She had she felt like she could just go to somebody and tap in financially that way, She didn't really know that this was her niche. She was still finding herself, so she wasn't 100% about, do I want to be in this business in particular,
right?
Oh, okay. So it's very imperative that you don't ever be in a partnership with someone who feels like, well, I don't have that much to lose. Very important.
I rent the biggest U-Haul truck that they have, which I don't know why they don't require a CDL for that truck. So listen, I crashed the semi truck when we go to pick up load the stuff on the side of a building. It's stuck like on 3 wheels, right? So I'm like, oh my gosh, so damaged the truck like crazy, damaged the store.
Oh my God.
So we load the truck up, right? So listen to this, we load the truck up. So the night that we're literally, everything's packed up, and the next morning we're planning to get up in the truck and head, right? The lady who I've been talking to for 6 months calls me and says, I'm sorry, but you guys can't move in. So I'm trying to hold it in. So long story short, I called a realtor I had talked to a few months before. She told me they had this condo that was halfway done. The basement wasn't even done. I said, I'll take it. Next morning, we go in the truck. Somebody steals my laptop out of the truck when we're about to leave, right? Despite all that, guess what we did? We got in that truck and still came.
And so I got into this relationship, called myself falling in love, and then at that point, moved to Atlanta. But I felt like as soon as we got here, things shifted in our relationship. We were in our house, and we had an argument because I asked a question. It was during, the George Floyd time, and they made a comment. I made a comment back, and their response was, well, you should get the fuck out. And I'm like, it's the middle of a pandemic. You are telling me that I need to leave the home that we both live in. And so, me being hasty and not trying to be the person like, well, I'm going to try to stay, packed my stuff and went to my one friend's house. And then I got there and I'm like, oh shit,